So I recently made a concrete flower pot for myself. This fun little guy had outgrown his old pot, so I made him a new, slightly bigger one. I think his roots are going to be very happy. That got me thinking, this plant needs a new plant pot as well. I'm pretty sure it's root bound and the fresh leaves are very unhappy. So with cement, you can buy a nice 40 kilo bag for about $15 or a 5 kilo bag for $16. For those who rely on public transit, you gotta spend a lot more. So I found this basket at the dollar store. It's about the size that I want, so I'm just gonna put my cement on the outside. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm probably gonna be misusing a lot of these words, but cement, I believe, is the Portland, and concrete is what you call it when you have the aggregates in it. And this particular brand already has the sand added. So my plan is pretty much to just cut these things off with this upside down and then trowel the cement on the outside until I've got a plant pot. So the first time I did this, I used a small bucket and a big bucket. Just kind of filled this with cement, stuck this one inside, and just kind of pulled them apart afterwards. When I did this, it was kind of trapped with plastic on both sides, which would keep the moisture in the cement. All the stuff that was sitting loose dried ridiculously weak and crumbly. So for this one, I'm going to be spritzing it with water on a regular basis to keep it moist. And then I think before I go to bed, I'm just going to wrap the whole thing in saran wrap. So since this is going to be a plant pot, it's going to be exposed to a lot of water over time. And the concrete or cement companies actually make latex and acrylic, additives that can improve the waterproofness or water resilience of your concrete. Unfortunately, they only added, 1 gallon was the smallest size they had, so I'm just going to try my regular painter's acrylic and add about 10 to 20% by total fluid volume, I'm guessing. I don't want to tell you how to live your life, but protection's not a bad thing. As I tried applying the concrete to the sides of the blue thing, I realized I had made a mistake. It was far too flexible and I just couldn't get it to stay stuck. It would bend a little bit and the whole wall would pop right off. So instead I scrambled, grabbed another bucket, and I'm just going to make another medium-sized round one instead of my big funky square one. Last time I did this, I was really concerned about bubbles and voids, so I really sloshed things around inside. But I think that kind of wiped the Vaseline off. So this time I suspect I'm going to have a lot more voids because I didn't do that smushing, but I'm hoping it'll come out a lot easier. But last time I had to use, saws and knives and all sorts of fun stuff to cut this apart to get it out. Let's see if it's any easier this time around. Oh. Yeah, that's way easier. Okay, it looks way more wet than the first one I did. That is surprising. I'm wondering if that's oil from the Vaseline staining it. Yeah, that feels greasy. That doesn't feel watery. Try to maybe clean that with mineral spirits after a week or two. Uh-oh. Got more. Oh. So yeah, it's still quite brittle, it seems. Hopefully I don't wreck it. Oh wow! Oh my god! That was so easy. Oh, okay. That's a disastrously poor job. Now, this looks a lot rougher around the top, so rather than doing a lot of work to try to hide that, I think I might try to finish this in like an old, decayed look. A very easy way to confirm that this is in fact Vaseline and not water I spritzed it. Alright, so I've hit it with more mineral spirits and more TSP. This Vaseline's not coming out. Alright, I burned it for quite a while. Ran out of gas. Still Vaseline left behind. Well, now when I'm spritzing it with water, I can see some of the oil kind of lifting to the surface and brushing off. Looks like the resin I use is safe on top of oil paint, so I'm just going to use oil paint. Alright, I'm surprisingly happy with how this one turned out. The first one I did had a very thick, sort of orange peely, bubbly sort of epoxy texture. This one I sanded the surface all the way up to 600, which is sort of like a satiny finish. It's quite lovely, and it doesn't have that gross plasticky feeling when you touch it. Ugh, I'm used to shooting more wide angle. Yeah, it's got a nice natural kind of, like you can feel the concrete. It just feels smooth, like it's been polished.